Hey everybody, I'm Carrie and welcome to my yoga class. Here we are in Brooklyn, New York in my home. As you can see, there's a baby gate in the back, that's right. I have an almost 2-year-old daughter, and so my practice has changed a lot throughout the years. I've been practicing for almost 25 plus years and teaching for over 10, and I am so thankful that you chose my class. So today's class is about gratitude. Really funny story. My younger sister introduced me to her very first serious boyfriend so many years ago. And we were outside, it was the summer, and I noticed that I could see through his tank top that he had a chest tattoo that said grateful. And I was looking at it, trying not to stare, trying not to be weird. And I noticed that grateful was spelled Greatful. Now, me being the yoga teacher, I assumed it was on purpose. And I was like, oh my God, I really like that. That's so interesting that you chose that spelling, which is not a correct spelling, but that spelling of grateful. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, that's not how you spell grateful, but I really like that idea that everything's great because you are so full. And I just saw his face fall. He did not know that it was spelled wrong. And I just broke the news to this terrible teenager, not terrible teenager, but I broke the terrible news to this teenager that he had a tattoo on his body forever spelled wrong. But I actually liked it. I digress. Grateful. So the way I think about gratitude is if you wake up in the morning every day and you find yourself thinking of all the things that are wrong, right? You put your foot on the floor, you're like, oh, what time is it? Oh, I only got 5 hours of sleep. And then you turn on the shower, oh, not enough hot water. And then you make your coffee and you're like, oh, I didn't make it right. It's contagious. Once you start setting your mind on the negative or what's wrong or what you don't have enough of, like sleep, that's a theme for me, then that's the way it goes the rest of the day. It's sort of like when you go grocery shopping when you're already starving. You make terrible choices. Like when I'm starving and I go to the grocery store, I'm picking up Doritos, I'm picking up anything quick because I'm starving. That's sort of how gratitude is. So if we start in really small ways, being grateful for the tiniest little thing, like when you get out of bed and you put your foot on the ground, instead of being like, oh, I only got 4 hours of sleep, you can be like, yes, I got 4 hours of sleep. Sounds super cheesy, sounds super fabricated, but it gets you on the right foot. Then when you go get your coffee, you're like, yes, coffee. And then as you walk down the street, you notice all the little things that you're grateful for, silly things. I'm grateful for this one tree outside of my house that kind of looks like a lady with her legs crossed and her arms out. I'm grateful that I have enough money to go get my fancy coffee on the way to the subway. I'm grateful that regardless of what weight I am or I'm not, my fabulous shoes always fit, right? And then we start tuning our mind into gratitude. And then that gratitude is contagious. Then the rest of the day, you start thinking about all the things you have and all the things you're thankful for instead of the opposite. Finding what's wrong, finding what you're lacking. So close your eyes right now. And I want you to think of one really silly thing that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be like, I'm grateful for my family and my job. Those are very important things to be grateful for. But just start small. Today I'm grateful for flavored coffee. I really like flavored coffee. I really do. I'm so grateful for it, sincerely. And so let's make sure we don't show up to the grocery store hungry. We make better choices when we're so full that we only take in what's going to make our lives better. Because we're full up already. We're not coming from a place of lack. Bring your hands together at your heart, and then you're going to keep the base of the palms, the pinky, and the thumb together and just blossom your hands out in a lotus mudra. You can keep your gaze forward or you can take your gaze down into your hands. And I'm going to start with 3 ohms. Of course, you never have to ohm if you don't want to. You can just listen to the sound of my voice. Big inhale. Om. Let that sacred sound connect you deeper into your mat, into your practice. Flutter your eyes open. You may need 2 blocks, but if you don't have them, that's okay. We're gonna start in a child's pose. So for this child's pose, do have your knees pretty wide and crawl your fingertips out in front of you and fold on down. If this hurts the back of your knees, you can always roll up a blanket or a towel behind your knees so that you don't go as deep into this bend in the knee, or you can always tuck your toes and let your booty lift a little bit. But if it feels okay, go ahead and try to bring your forehead to the mat. And you can roll your head a little bit left and right, massaging your brow. Crawl your hands all the way over to the right and be on your fingertips if you can. And you're going to extend, crawling your fingers out forward and over to the left as you pull your left hip crease back. We want to feel a stretch in the left ribs, the left side body, kind of up by your armpit even. Keep breathing through your ribs. And then come back through center just so you know what center is. And then you're going to crawl it all the way over to the left. So today's a quickie, so we'll be moving through things pretty brusquely, I guess is the word I want to use. So on your fingertips, you're rooting your right hip back as you crawl your fingertips forward and over to the left, breathing into those right ribs. Hopefully you feel the stretch even up by your armpit. Come back through center. You're going to bend your elbows and take a prayer of gratitude behind your head. And maybe hearken back to what it is that you're grateful for, the silly thing. As you nestle that prayer behind your head, crawl your elbows a little bit forward. It should be tricky to do so. And then you're going to dig your forearms down and back as if you were going to drag your elbows back towards your heels. Hopefully you feel the stretch in the backs of the upper arms, maybe in between your shoulder blades. And then go ahead and come into down dog. First down dog of the day can always feel crappy to me. So I always pedal through my legs quite a bit, come out of my toes, bend my knees, get my booty up and high so I feel that nice slope like a kid's slide from tail to palm of the hands. And then if you want, you can keep your knees bent the whole time in your down dog or just gently heavy them to the floor. But if it feels available to you, go ahead and firm the tops of the thighs back. Make sure, especially if you're extra flexible like I am, that your ribs are not sinking. We don't want to collapse in the shoulders. So draw your ribs together and make sure it's a nice slope without a big dip. Nice, guys. Inhale, lift your right foot up to the sky, maybe heel towards the opposite buttock. Ooh, my hip cracked. I wonder if yours did too. It feels so good. Straighten it back out again. Exhale, step it to the top of the mat. Drop your left knee. You can pat it if your knee is sensitive. Lift your arms up, Anjaneyasana. So you're going to let your pelvis get heavy. In this pose, the knee can come past the ankle. Doesn't have to, but it can. Pull your right hip back and then draw your pubic bone forward as you draw your ribs back. We want to feel the stretch in the front of the left thigh here. Then take that prayer up over your head again in gratitude and drop it behind your head. Squeeze your little head with your upper arms and then lift your elbows up to the sky. So we have a slight back bend, but not in the lower back, more in the part of the back that's behind the shoulder blades. Bring prayer back up and then to heart center, we're going to take a prayer twist. So left elbow over to the right thigh. Firm your outer hips in, pull your right hip back, and then lengthen from crown of the head to tailbone as you press the right hand into the left and rotate. Shoulders on your back, collarbones broad. 3 breaths. Exhale, hands come down. For this pose, I do like blocks, although they're not necessary. Runner stretch, Ardha Hanumanasana. Slide your right foot forward. Dig your right heel down and back. Keep that right foot flexed. And you're going to pull your right hip crease back so the 2 hip points are even. And then it's a little bit of a down dog spine. So tailbone up, heart melts forward as you fold over your right leg. The goal is not to get your booty to the floor. It's to lengthen with a long spine while tilting the pelvis ever so slightly like a down dog pelvis. One more big inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and slide your right foot right underneath your right knee. You can use your block if you'd like. Left hand to the inside of your right hand to the inside of your right knee. Roll your right ribs under. Left arm straight up to the sky. And if you don't want to use the block or you don't have one, you can bring your fingertips to the floor. Or if that seems too far away, just grab the inside of your shin. But you're gonna use the pressure of your right elbow into your right thigh to help open your chest up. Gorgeous. One more big inhale. Exhale, hands come down around your front foot and step it back, down dog. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Come through onto your belly, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, child's pose. Bring the prayer behind your head. Crawl the elbows forward. Melt the heart as you drag the elbows down and back. Think of that another thing that you're grateful for, something small. I'm grateful for Q-tips. So many uses for Q-tips. And then go ahead. I'm serious. So many uses. And then tuck your toes and lift your hips, down dog. I use them for cleaning all the time. Left leg lifts, inhale. Heel towards your opposite buttock. Ooh, another big hip crack for me. Today's my lucky day. I'm grateful for it. Square your foot back off. Exhale, step it to the top of the mat. Drop your right knee, Anjaneyasana. So lift. First, we'll work with the pelvis. Left hip back, right hip forward. Melt forward. Your knee can come past your ankle, but it doesn't have to. And then pubic bone forward, ribs back till we feel a big old stretch in the front of the right thigh, up by the psoas. Prayer hands. Dip the prayer hands behind your head. Squeeze your little head and lift your elbows. Mini back bend. Inhale, prayer up, and then prayer twist. Firm your outer thighs in. Find length, and then press. Bottom hand into top. Find your rotation. 3 breaths. You can hear my Ujjayi breath. Hands come down to the floor or to blocks. Ardha Hanumanasana. Slide your left heel forward, dig your left heel down and back, left hip back. Now let's find lift the pelvis, lift the heart, almost like cat-cow. This would be cow. And then lengthen and fold over your leg. Big breaths. If you feel any pulling in the back of the left knee here, just put a little bend in the knee. Really keep the left foot flexed and feel that drag of the left heel down and back. And then inhale, come on up, step the left foot right underneath the left knee. I'm gonna move my blocks out of the way. Left hand comes to the inside of the left foot. Left elbow helps open up the left knee. I'm gonna keep my back toes tucked for now, and then I'm gonna open up. Right arm up to the sky. So left ribs under, right ribs up, turning your chest towards the sky. Exhale, hands come down. Step it back to your down dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, let's come right back to down dog this time. Okay, we're gonna add on, move a little faster. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, open it up. Inhale, square it off. Exhale, step it to the top of the mat, Anjaneyasana. Pelvis heavy, right hip back. Pubic bone forward, ribs in, lift. Prayer behind your head. Squeeze your head, lift, slight back bend. Exhale, prayer lifts, prayer twist. 3 breaths. Exhale, hands come down, runner stretch, Ardha Hanumanasana. Dig your right heel down and back, lift your heart, fold. Inhale, come on up, slide your right heel right underneath your right knee. This time I want you to lift your back knee, plant your left heel down on the diagonal. Right hand to the inside of the right thigh or a block, left arm straight up to the sky, modified side angle. Pull your belly in, take your right buttock under, open up your chest. Again, pull belly to spine. Inhale, come up, warrior 2. All right, now we're standing, so check with your stance. Sometimes you come up and it's not right, so I could go a little wider with my stance here. My knee should never come past my ankle. That's a no-no. So in line or a little less. Ribs facing the long end of your mat, not the short end. And draw your pubic bone a little bit forward. Or think of wrapping your right buttock under. Same thing. Arms extend. Take your hands up over, take your gaze up over your right middle finger. And then let's take palms face up. We're super grateful for everything we have. Our palms are open to abundance. Peaceful all the way up and back. Left hand just rests. You're not white knuckling your left hand on your left thigh. Get big and spacious through those right ribs like we did in the very beginning in child's pose when we crawled ourselves over to one side. Straighten your legs. Now stay really long in your right side body. Press your right big toe ball mound into the floor. Try not to collapse in the right ribs. I'd rather you have your hand higher up on your leg and be long through your right side than on the floor and be all crunched down. So find where feels good for you today, and then draw your pubic bone a little bit more towards your television or your TV or your phone or however you're watching me. Right ribs under, left ribs up. Nice. Left arm straight up to the sky. Breathe. Feel like you're taking your right buttock back towards your left heel a little bit to deepen your right hip crease. If you feel any pulling in your right knee, go ahead and bend it. And then maybe if you want, you can slide your hand further down. Really nice. One more big inhale. And exhale, moving into Ardha Chandrasana, so you have those blocks there if you need them. I like to bring my left hand on my hip to do the transfer here. Bend your right knee. You can always hop your back foot in a little bit. Right hand in front of your right foot about a foot, shoulder over wrist, and then left heel straight back, toes face the screen. Shine your ribs up and left arm up to the sky. Challenge your balance here. Now maybe you stay here. Maybe you start to think about bringing one of your hands to your heart. So I'll do my top hand this first round till I feel my balance a little bit and just feel that grateful heart. Bend your right knee, step it back, warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down around your front foot. Vinyasa if you'd like, or you can always take a down dog or a child's pose. Exhale for chaturanga, inhale for up dog, exhale for down dog, 3 breaths. Next side, left leg lifts. Open up that hip, square it back off. Exhale, left foot steps to the top of the mat. Drop your knee, Anjaneyasana, lift. Left hip back, pubic bone forward, ribs in. Prayer, up over your head. Squeeze your head with your upper arms. Prayer up to the sky, prayer twist. Right elbow over to the left thigh. Find your twist. Exhale, hands come down, runner stretch. Take that left foot forward. Dig your left heel down and back, lengthen and fold. Now come on up. Now you're gonna see my backside, which is helpful, I think, in seeing alignment. So, lucky for you, you get to see my backside. Just kidding. Take your hold of your left thigh. Left foot right underneath the left knee, right leg lifts. Plant your right heel down. Left hand to the inside of the left foot or to a block, right arm up to the sky, modified side angle. So you don't want your booty out. You want to tuck your booty under as you open up your chest. Pull belly to spine, come up, warrior two, adjust your stance. So I probably need a longer stance here. Same thing, I don't want my booty out and my ribs out. I want to take my pelvis under and roll my inner left thigh towards my outer left thigh. My ribs should not be facing the short end of my mat, but the long end of my mat, arms out. We'll take the palms of the hands up to accept all that abundance. Gratitude for everything you have. Going to the grocery store full instead of hungry. Peaceful all the way up and back. Feel a big stretch in your left ribs. Again, you don't even really need this right hand, but just rest it on the top of your right thigh. Straighten both legs. Hip creases back, fingertips forward, triangle pose. Go a little shallower on your legs so that you can find that length. Don't let your booty pop out. So tuck your left buttock under, right ribs stack, right arm up to the sky. Once you feel comfortable there, pressing your left big toe ball mound into the floor, making sure that the back of the left knee is not locked out. You can slide your hand further down your leg as long as you do not collapse in the left ribs. I like to bring my right hand to my right hip for my transition, coming into Ardha Chandrasana. Crawl your left hand forward, right heel coming right out of your hip, left shoulder kind of in line with your left fingertips, and then open up. We're gonna play around with that gratitude, bringing hand to heart. So which hand do you wanna bring, if any? I'm gonna bring my right one for now. I'm not ready to bring the one that's on the floor yet. I don't feel my balance is up to snuff right yet. And then step it back. Woo, warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down around your front foot. Vinyasa or down dog. 3 breaths. Let's make a nice audible sigh. So big inhale. Ha. Inhale. That was me horse fluttering my lips. All right, last time, a little bit more speedier, adding on. Right leg lifts. Ooh, another crack. Open up your hip, square it back off, step it to the top of the mat. Anjaneyasana lift. This time, let's interlace our hands behind our back, elbows draw closer together, and then take your fists to the floor, lifting your chest. Inhale, sweep the arms back. Prayer twist, left elbow over to the right thigh. Firm your outer hips in. Find your spiral. Lift your back knee up off the mat. Plant your left heel down, forearm on the thigh, and again, adjust because my knee was over my ankle, so I need to take a longer stance here. Modified side angle. Maybe if you'd like, you can bring your hand down to the floor, but forearm on the thigh is fine as long as the palm is facing up. Warrior two. Palms face up. Gaze over your right middle finger. Peaceful, all the way up and back. Triangle pose. Ardha Chandrasana. All right, guys, I'm going to try to come into it with no hands. That's right. So I'm going to bend my right knee. I'm going to really take my gaze forward. Both hands to my heart because I'm so grateful. And that was my hip cracking. I'm grateful for that too. Step it all the way back. Guys, this should be called the hip cracking class. Cartwheel your hands down around your front foot. Down dog. Plank pose in your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift your left foot up. Heel towards the opposite buttock. Square it off. Exhale, step it to the top of the mat. Right knee down. Anjaneyasana. Interlace your hands behind your back. Elbows in. Fists to the floor. Open up your heart so full. Inhale. Arms up. Exhale, prayer twist. Firm your outer hips in. Find the opening of your heart. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee. Plant your back heel down. Side angle modified. Warrior two. Peaceful. Triangle. Here we go, try it. Hands free, Ardha Chandrasana. Hands to the heart in gratitude. Ooh, step it back, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down around your front foot. Vinyasa or down dog. Awesome, guys. Child's pose. This time for child's pose, instead of the prayer over your head, I want you to take your palms face up out in front of you, so you're externally rotating your upper arms. This is similar to pictures you see when people are bowing down, oftentimes in various different religions, but it's you're going prostrate. Sometimes it's in front of the king, and like ancient stories of kings and queens, very Game of Thrones. Or it's deep in worship. You're just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. I trust in the abundance of the universe. I am grateful for everything I have. I'm not taking anything for granted. Awesome, guys. And then roll up to sit. Really beautiful. All right, let's come to lay down on our backs. We're going to do 2 back bends because this is a quickie. Never, in my opinion, should you start right out of the gate with wheel pose when you're on your back. You should warm up with either a bridge or a restorative bridge. For some of us, wheel pose just isn't what feels good in our body. For me, since I had my baby, it doesn't feel great as of yet, right? Maybe I need a little bit more time. So I'm going to start with a restorative bridge. Lay down on my back with my heels close to my buttocks. I should be able to graze my heels with my fingertips. And then I'm going to take my tailbone, dig it down and forward till my pelvis, the very pointy front part of my pelvis, starts to cup up towards my chin. And now more of my lower back, my sacrum, is melted to the floor. And from that alignment place, I'm going to press my heels into the floor, start to curl my hips up. Now, if you have a block, you can place it down. I like medium height to start, but on the lowest is an okay place too. Highest is a little aggressive right away, in my opinion. But you do you. And then shimmy each shoulder blade a little bit underneath you, palms of the hands up, or my personal favorite, robot arms, bending at the elbows, palms facing each other. And just allow yourself for a moment to dissolve. Let the front of the body soften as you breathe fully into it, as you see your belly and your chest rise with your breath. And then exhale, really trust that the block is there supporting you. Release your buttocks. So a really important part of gratitude is acceptance. Whether it's accepting help, whether it's accepting the riches that have been given to you. And I don't necessarily mean riches as money. My partner, my man, often says to me, you come from this background where you assume it has to be hard in order for it to be worth it. And so when really good things happen to you and you didn't work that hard at them, you don't really accept it. Sometimes people just want to do nice things for you. Sometimes the universe just gives you something nice. Just accept it. Go ahead and lift up. You can always stay in a restorative. But if you're feeling okay, come down, roll down from top to bottom. And you can come into your second back bend, whether that be a bridge or a full wheel. So same setup. Curl my tail towards my heels. Press into the backs of my hands, start to lift my hips up, shimmy my shoulder blades underneath, and then I'm going to interlace my hands like I did in Anjaneyasana. Thighs hugging together, knees moving forward, heart moving back. When he said that, that really affected me because I have trouble accepting help. I have trouble asking for help. And I have trouble accepting things that are good. It's easier for me to accept things that are bad than to accept things that are good. And gratitude helps me accept things that are good. Let go, roll down. We'll take figure 4, right ankle over the left knee. Interlace your hands. Now stay here, letting your right elbow open up your right thigh. See how that feels. If it feels like you want to go further, go ahead and grab your shin. Still keeping your shoulder blades on the ground and still having your right elbow open up your right knee. Go ahead and switch. Left ankle over right knee, figure 4. Maybe grab your shin if it feels okay. Still opening that left thigh. This is my tricky thigh. I can feel it. Go ahead and come on down. And then we'll lift our hips up, take them, scooch them over to the right, just one little scooch. Straighten your legs, right over left, single or double eagle wrap, and then take them over to the left, gaze over to the right. And you can have your left hand press down through your right thigh. Back through center, straighten your legs, boop, boop. Left ankle, or left thigh over the right rather. Scoot your butt up over to the left and take your knees over to the right. Right hand rests on the top of your left thigh. Gaze is over your left shoulder. Ooh, spinal crack there. I'm just cracking a ton for you guys today. Feels great for me. I hope that it's not distracting for you. Inhale back through center. Undo your legs. And then just notice if there's anything else that you would like to come into before coming into your Shavasana. So I'm going to come into a headstand. Really quick story as I come into headstand. When I used to do all these deep meditation retreats, I would tell my meditation teacher that after having a really, really good meditation, I didn't feel like sitting there anymore. I wanted to get up and dance or something, or I felt like I wanted to stand on my head. And he had told me that there's a group of like ecstatic, I can never say that word, ecstatic meditators who do just that, that when they start to feel the like beauty, the gratitude of meditation, not just the quiet, but the just deeper radiance of your being, that they do that. They start to like come into headstand, they start dancing. And so I urge you to do that. Like whatever your experience of gratitude is, how it feels in your body, celebrate it. So maybe you have like a mini dance break right now. Maybe you also take a headstand. Maybe you play around in your headstand, whatever it is. Little dance break. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And then take your Shavasana, right? Yoga doesn't always have to be serious. It's about celebrating your body. Sometimes it's about calming down, but today it's about gratitude. And gratitude is something to shout from the rooftops and dance your little body out. So as you lay down in your Shavasana, take a few deep sighs. And maybe as you sit here, you can just let a very gentle smile come to your lips. Not a forced smile, nothing's worse than that. But just notice the sides, the very corners of your mouth. Just turn up very gently. Maybe allow your tongue to just press gently to the roof of your mouth, right behind your teeth. And again, allow your mind to rest on something else that you're grateful for. Maybe it's something small and silly again, like flavored coffee or Q-tips. Or maybe it's something more profound. But just as negativity and coming from a place of lack is contagious, the good news is gratitude is also contagious. The more you find it, the more it finds you. And gently start to bring your mind and body back into the room. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and maybe even lull your head from side to side. Inhale, stretch your arms up over your head like it's a new day, and you're stretching. And then curl yourself over to a fetal position on one side. And gently press yourself up into your comfortable seat. Hands to prayer at your heart center. Let's do that lotus mudra. So base of the palm, pinky and thumb, stay together. Open up your palms. You can either take your gaze down or forward. And one final Om to finish. Big inhale. Close your lotus into a prayer, bring it up to your third eye, and bow down in honor of your gratitude, of your amazing body that does things for you every single day without you thanking it. The light in me honors the light in you. We are just the same. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Have a great day. Be grateful for everything in your life. It was so great practicing with you, and I hope you come back. Bye from Brooklyn.